Good evening, everybody. This is Neutron Bomb. Thank you for coming by. We're going to be looking at video number 8 in our series on exploring Hummels. And before we get to that and the topic, let me ask you a question. Have you ever ordered something off of eBay or whatever platform, and you know in your mind when you order it that it's a breakable and it's something that's fragile? And when you get that box and you get that package in, the very first thing you hear is something like that. That is not what we want to hear when we are dealing with something and anticipating something as delicate as this Hummel figurine can be. This particular Hummel is singing lessons. It's one of my favorite. And I just want you to look how delicate it is where the little bird connects to his feet. And then I don't know if I can get that to zoom in enough, but look at the finger and the thumb. How fragile are those items? And even this bow, as you see here, trying to get that from here in Georgia across the country is a challenging task, but it's very doable. As you all know, Laura Cohn, she won the little accordion boy figure in our drawing last week, and she lives in Washington State. I live in Georgia. The method that I'm about to share with you, you can apply with any breakable, any fragile item, and I could almost guarantee that that item, barring any extreme abuse, would make it across the country safely. Laura let me know that that figurine got there safely, and I hope she enjoys that. But tonight I want us to talk about how to avoid the dreaded customer gets a box like that and it's not going to be good. It's going to be a lot of problems, a lot of claims, a lot of processing. And if we try to take time to wrap and give some considerations on the figure, the item itself, the box that it's going in, and the material that we use to pack it out, I guarantee you we'll have a good outcome. So let's talk about that. The first thing that we need to consider is the size of the figure or the item that we're shipping. And in this case, we're talking about a 2.5-inch tall figure that is approximately, let's see, 1.5 inches wide, and then its length is 3 inches. So we don't need a lot of box to ship this in. And that is why I go with the preference of the 6x4x4. Most of the medium-sized figurines in the Hummel line will fit into this box. That is the second consideration. Make sure that you have the appropriate size box. And that is what we have here. This figure will fit into that box, but we have got to leave room for plenty of cushion and plenty of pad to protect it as it's going from here to wherever I'm going to be shipping it, if I were to be shipping. I want to be clear about this. I have these incoming. Very seldom do I ship them out because I'm collecting. But breakables in general, figurines, ceramics that are not Hummels, are no different as far as trying to pack them out and protect them. So what is my packing material of choice for these fragile figures? And you all know what it's going to be before I even say it. And it's the handy dandy, dependable bubble wrap. But let me express a concern about bubble wrap. Bubble wrap is only as good as much as we use it. At Walmart, $16.88 is what the cost is on a roll of bubble wrap. It lasts me quite a while. But at the same time, I don't want to use too much, and I don't want to be excessive with it because the stuff is expensive. And yes, you can get it at other places cheaper. I realize that. But there's a technique that I want to share with you that will help us, and I think you can consider it for other breakables as well. And I'll try to show that and talk to it as we go through it. So now what I'd like to demonstrate is how I prefer to pack out something as delicate and as sensitive as a Hummel figurine. First of all, I've learned this the hard way. Just this past weekend, I had to pay the price. I had a Hummel tip over, and it broke off very quickly in the same spot. And the reason was my own fault. I did not have a cushion on the table, and the table shifted. And when the figure fell over, it hit the table and it broke. So I took a $175 Hummel, took it down to a value of almost nothing. But have a cushion when you're dealing with breakables. Have a soft surface that you're packing out on. The material of choice that I use is the bubble wrap. I'm sure you all guessed that. But what I do is I have 2 sheets of the 12 by 12, 12 inch by 12 inches square. And a lot of people, when they wrap, will take it and do it like so. They'll wrap it and roll it, is what I refer to that as. But if you roll something up in bubble wrap, when you go to open it, you're rolling it. And you see the motion on that figure? What I'm trying to prevent is anything from rolling off and hitting something. It doesn't take much to break it. So here is the technique that I use. I place the figure in the middle of the bubble wrap, okay? And I will make a flap over. Take that and make another flap over. One small piece of tape, not much needed, just enough to hold it. Take the bottom, pull it toward you. Just another piece of tape, enough to just hold it. Then I flip it and I pull the other end towards myself. One more piece of tape just to hold it for now. And what we should end up with is something that looks like an S. And the reason I'm going for that is so that I can protect on this end and this end, where I only had 2 layers of bubble wrap. Now I have multiple layers of bubble wrap, even more protection, but with the same amount of material. I would take one more piece of tape, wrap it around, and hold that, but don't want to waste the tape. So does it fit? Does it fit inside the box doing that technique? Well, with a 6 by 4 by 4 box, the answer is obviously yes. It fits inside, but it's not something, it still can move around, and we don't want that. But at the same time, I don't want it to fit in a box that's too small. As Dominic has told us and reminded us, we don't want it to just be crushed. So I want some of that movement in there, and then I can just put a filler in, and whatever your choice at that point is, any kind of paper, you would fill in all of your gaps. And the main point there is that we don't have the figure dancing around, or the rattle, the dreaded rattle in the box. You don't want that in your box when you finish packing it up. Hope you enjoyed that. Few tips. Maybe you can give me a thumbs up and a like, and maybe share, and I would appreciate it. Thank you. Come back again. We're going to be talking about further identification of Hummel figurines in our next video. Some nuances there. Thank you.